What's up, fam? So I thought I'd do a much requested mini review of blood and gut style training that I've been doing. And disclaimer, I am not a bodybuilder. I haven't been running the true, what he called the high intensity training method, HIIT, not to be confused with high intensity interval training. Not 100%. For the most part I follow it, but I've still been doing Bulgarian-ish type training with a main movement first, maxing out every day, and then using the blood and guts almost as an accessory, stuff. But, so first things first, what it is, basically you're taking a movement, could be any movement really, to failure and then some. So with certain movements, if I have a training partner around, I'll be doing assisted reps at the end. So for example, we'll say an overhead press in the Smith machine or something, as many as I possibly can. And then once I fail there, a partner would help me with a few more on the concentric phase. And the way I've been trying to do most of the movements is, the way Dorian Yates did them too, was with a very slow eccentric, a pause at full contraction, or if with the press, at the bottom of the press, and then an explosive concentric. Basically every rep as best I can. Some movements I don't do it, but because it just doesn't lend itself very well to the movement. But for the most part, that's the way I've been doing it. So yeah, that's pretty much what it is. You should do anywhere from 3 to 6 movements per body part. It's basically a bro split. So the way I've been doing it for the blood and gut stuff, it's Monday, back and rear delts. Tuesday, chest and biceps. Wednesday is rest from the blood and guts. Thursday is traps, shoulders, and triceps. And then Friday's rest. Saturday has been just legs in general, so quads, hamstrings, calves, which I haven't really trained actually. So yeah, basically a bro split. But the thing with the training, I don't recommend it for everyone for sure. It's very intense. It's very taxing on recovery because you're taking your body to the limits and then some basically every single day for the most part. And as I've gone on with it too, I've been, because mostly for the last three and a half years, I've basically been only maxing out lifts every day, so my volume's been insanely low. My work capacity hasn't been the greatest. But as I've been doing more and more of this, I'm getting better at doing high rep stuff, my work capacity is increasing. So I've just been able to go harder, which has actually made it's been more beneficial, but also much more taxing, has been making my main lift suffer a lot more. As you guys have probably noticed, the numbers I've been hitting in my main lifts haven't been all that impressive lately, really. When I first started with it, my sleeping pattern got really fucked up. The first like 3 weeks, just because again I was adjusting to this new, so I kind of hopped right into it. I didn't prep or anything. Normally I sleep 8 to 9 hours straight through, never wake up, but I was waking up several times each night. Quality of sleep when I was asleep wasn't the greatest. I've adjusted to the most part now. There's some nights still where I'm not sleeping very well, but for the most part I adjusted to that, but it took about 3 weeks. Then the soreness is a different kind of soreness. Like I'm used to soreness from maxing out, which is, depending on the movement, pretty minimal. But this is like next level soreness. If you do it properly, I've been sore cripplingly sore every single day basically since I started it. Usually, for example, with a Monday back day, my lats are usually sore until Friday doing this. If I do it properly, if I hit the right movements that I need to be doing. So it's the DOMS is pretty insane, honestly. Which again, that's part of the reason it's been affecting my main lifts, because I'm not exactly feeling the best every day. But the bodybuilding stuff's pretty easy when it's laid out like this, just because, like I said, it's a bro split. You're doing one body part each day for the most part. So even though one part of you is insanely sore, the part you can do the next day is relatively fresh. Which, makes it, I won't say easy, but like with Bulgarian type training, you might have to do, like if you're squatting every day, for example, if you might be super sore in your glutes and quads, and then you still have to do the next day, but it's something you can push past easy. But with like this kind of soreness, it's more, I don't know, full circle soreness, whatever you want to call it, where your nervous system's fatigued, your muscles are fatigued, and you just kind of feel like shit generally. But Uh, all that said, I've quite enjoyed it. I've really had fun just kind of experimenting. This isn't something I normally do, like bodybuilding stuff. And it's probably something I needed to do too, because like I said, um, my volume's been so low for several years now, and I think it's good to kind of build up my base again. I generally think I have a very good base, but it can always be improved upon, and I think this is a good way to do it for me, not for most people probably, but I've seen pretty good results from it. My back especially has blown up. My lats have seen the greatest improvement of any part of my body, and so I think this style training really lends itself best towards back training. And if you look at Dorian Yates, his back was absolutely insane, if not, one of the best backs of all time, and for bodybuilders, the best. And he's insanely strong too, as well. When he was, he's strict rowing 405, no problem, bent over rows. Pretty big deadlifts as far as I know. Even though he didn't generally train heavy squats and deadlifts, he was able to move pretty good weight with them. He's huge, obviously. So my arms have grown pretty significantly. I haven't really done measurements, honestly. I don't like doing measurements. For me, it's a bad road to go down. We start worrying so much about size and aesthetics and stuff. But I've noticed, hopefully some of you have noticed as well, that my arms have grown decently, especially my triceps, my biceps a little bit, triceps mostly. Shoulders have seen some improvement. I already have relatively beefy shoulders, but they've beefed up a little more. I haven't seen a whole lot of leg development, but part of that's probably because my legs are already pretty well developed compared to the rest of my upper body. But I've seen, what's interesting is even though my strength has been suffering, my top end strength, my like mid end strength, whatever you want to call it, has been improving pretty good. Like just starting with curls, I've always been really, really terrible at curls. I was doing I think the first week I did curls, I was only using like 40 pounds, and it's like for 8 reps, which was a decent struggle for me. Like I'm truly terrible at curls. But the last time I did that was with one arm. That is not both arms, not that bad. The last time I did a single arm curl, I was doing like 60 pounds for the same round of reps, which is pretty significant percentage increase. Part of that, again, I'm bad at them. I don't do curls ever up until I started doing this. So that's part of it. It's just an untrained part for me, but still, it's cool seeing that I'm actually getting some kind of like strength progress as well, not just see my body change, but both are happening at the same time, which is nice. Other than that, yeah, it's nothing complicated. I don't recommend it for beginners at all. I think it's very taxing on your joints. If you like Dorian Yates, he tore his bicep and tricep doing it. Part of that is because leading up to several Mr. Olympias, he didn't like pump the brakes enough. So that's part of it. And he's like cutting like insane. He's on steroids and stuff, but it's quite rough. I never have joint issues or anything. I don't really now, but there's some days where I'm feeling a little achy. I normally don't, but it goes away always. But as a beginner, I don't think a beginner would have A, the work capacity, B, the base to get anything from this, and I don't think, not anything from it, you'll probably get something from it, but I think it's a relatively risky way of training. It's a high reward, high risk, which is the kind of stuff I like doing, obviously. So it's not, and also I think you need a certain kind of drive that most people don't have, because it's painful training. Like I said, you're going to failure and you're going beyond failure, and it's not fun necessarily. Like it depends what kind of training you like. Really, if you like really intense stuff, it's great. If you're more of like a 8 sets of 3 kind of guy, not the best. It takes quite a bit of mental fortitude to day in, day out, just like take everything to failure and beyond, and without like half-assing it, because it gets really easy to half-ass to failure. We're like, oh, I don't think I can do one more, and then you suddenly can't. But like actually forcing yourself to like get those last couple reps and stuff. But yeah, I think I'm gonna keep doing it for a while longer, just because it's different. I've been maxing out in weird lifts for, like I said, like 3.5 years. And not that I'm bored with it, it's what I truly love doing. I love maxing out, but I think it's good for me to just mentally do something else. So when I come back to just straight Wisconsin method, that I'm be even more geared up than I normally am to be lifting with that style. Anything else really about it? There's not a whole lot else. So weight. My weight. I've gained about. So far I'm up 12 pounds since I started. I started at 230. I'm at 242 right now, which is by far the heaviest I've ever been in my entire life. I think most of that's from back growth, and I'm not saying I didn't put on fat, but I haven't really changed body fat percentages. So yeah, I feel I look better. If anything, I look a little leaner, I think. I have more definition in my back, especially my shoulders. There's some striations on my chest as well, which I normally don't have. Part of that's probably because there's actually blood going to those areas because I never used my chest for like 5 years. But yeah, it's been fun. I'm like I said, I'm gonna keep doing it for a little while, just see where it goes. If I notice my body stops changing, probably if I notice I'm like stalling on these lifts, or if I get bored of it, I'll quit. But I really like the intensity of it, and it's not complicated. With exercise selection, I kind of have been like slowly whittling down the exercises that I've found work really well for the style. Because certain ones, like, they're great exercises. Like I like invented that like scrape the rack row thing I was doing, which is an awesome exercise, and I really recommend people doing it. But it didn't really lend itself well to going to failure, and it's a hard thing to do drop sets with. That's another thing. Certain exercises don't lend themselves to doing assisted reps, and doing like drop sets works better for like quad extensions. Like sometimes I've done a few with those with assisted reps, but I've found that drop sets work better for me with those. So there's certain exercises I haven't been doing the assisted reps, but yeah. So I've been whittling down so when I first started, I kind of switched what I was doing every single week, but now I've been kind of more consistent with similar exercises. I'll still change, like added a new one pretty much every week, like some kind of new exercise or variation on exercise. So like instead of lateral shoulder raises, I'll do like seated lateral shoulder raises. Just change it up a little bit, just to make it a little more exciting. But yeah, nothing too complicated. Just kind of going balls to the wall and then some, and then going home, which I normally do. It just takes a little longer now. Most of the workouts, including my main lift, are usually between up to about 2 hours. I'm in the gym, and I'm pretty slow. I like to take quite long rest periods between stuff, but yeah. So overview, quickly to recap. Not for beginners, not for everyone. Even if you aren't beginners, not for everyone. It's mostly for aesthetics. There's some strength gain to be made from it. Picking 3 to 6 exercises, taking them all to failure and then some, whatever happens to me for the exercise. Again, either assisted reps or drop sets. I should say also with each exercise, you should have like 4 to 5 warm-up sets, like working up to my top set. So I'm gonna do a like 300-pound leg extension, for example. I'll do, like I said, at 100 pounds, 150, 200, 250, and then do my actual top set. And with those two, I'm still treating them the same, like doing a quick concentric, pausing, or slow eccentric, pausing in the full contraction, or if it's a press, the bottom of the press, and then exploding up. So I treat all the warm-ups the exact same way I treat the top set. I'm just not taking them to failure. That's about it. It's pretty simple. Bro split, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and it's been fun. So if you're more of like a intermediate type person, again, I'm not a huge person, like not huge on labels for lifters, saying like beginner, intermediate, advanced and stuff. But if you've been training for a few years, it's worth giving it a shot. If nothing else, just for a short period of time, maybe in the off season, or if you just want to put some size on. That's about it. So I thought I'd do this mini review. Once I've done it longer, I'll do like a full, like super in depth. This is pretty long. It's been almost 15 minutes. But I'll do a super in depth, what exercises I found work, what don't, what stuff like that. So stay tuned. As I learn more and experience it more, I'll keep updating you guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for following along. I know hasn't been the most exciting to watch me do bicep curls and stuff, but I appreciate it. So thanks, guys. Love y'all.